Hi guys, in this video I'm explaining the difference between an atom and an ion. So let's get started. An atom is a neutral particle, which means it has no charge. On the other hand, an ion is a particle with a positive or negative charge. To understand where ions come from, we need to know how atom is structured. I've talked about it in another video, but I briefly recap it here. At the center of every atom is a nucleus, which consists of protons and neutrons. Protons have a positive charge, while neutrons have no charge. So, because of this, the nucleus of an atom is positively charged. We consider the charge of one proton to be +1, and the number of protons in the nucleus of the specific atom could be found using its atomic number in the periodic table. For example, hydrogen has atomic number 1, meaning its nucleus has a charge of +1. Nitrogen has atomic number 7, so its nucleus has 7 protons and charge of +7. So in general it's quite simple, we just look at the atomic number and find the number of positive charge in the nucleus. Now back to the atom. Speaking in simple words, electrons orbit around the nucleus of an atom. Electrons have almost no mass, but each of them carries a charge of -1. In an atom, the number of electrons is equal to number of protons, making it neutral. For example, in hydrogen atom, there is one proton in the nucleus and just one electron orbiting it, resulting in a net charge of 0. In a nitrogen atom, there are 7 protons in the nucleus and 7 electrons orbiting it, again resulting in a net charge of 0. But during chemical reaction, something always happens with electrons, especially with those further from the nucleus, which are called valence electrons. An atom can lose or gain these electrons, turning into an ion. So an ion is a particle with a charge, is a positive or negative. And here are some examples. Oxygen has 6 electrons in its outer shell. During chemical reaction, it takes 2 electrons from other atoms and becomes an ion. Now, oxygen has total 10 electrons, but still 8 protons in its nucleus. This means the balance of positive and negative charges is disrupted, and oxygen has transformed from a neutral particle into an ion with a charge of -2. Another example is sodium. A sodium atom has 11 protons and 11 electrons. However, 1 electron is in its outer shell and participates in chemical bonding. Sodium gives away this valence electron during chemical reaction. In this case, it still has 11 protons in its nucleus, but only 10 electrons orbiting it. So it becomes an ion with a charge of +1. To determine this charge, we'll look at 11 protons in the nucleus, which give us a charge of +11. And the 10 electrons orbiting the nucleus give us a charge of -10. As a result, the particle has a net positive charge +1. In a summary, an atom is a neutral particle, because in an atom the number of protons is equal to the number of electrons. During chemical reaction, atom gain or lose valence electrons, turning into positive or negative charge ions. And you should remember that nothing happens to the protons in the nucleus. Only the number of valence electrons changes. So guys, that's all for today, and see you in the next video.